Hi guys, and welcome back to the hot seat. I hope you guys all fell in love with Ashley, as I know that you would. And like I said, we're going to have a lot of influential people on today's episode. So the next person I have known for some time, I have worked with for a little bit, and it's amazing her story from when she started until where she is now and how much she wants to change the city of Las Vegas and what she has to say about it. Also being a hardworking actor, a voiceover actor, being commercials, being a commercial print model, all of those things. And so I can't wait to have you guys hear her story and her views on what it's like in the industry. So everyone, welcome Kimiko Peterson.
Hi. Thank you.
We're both sweaty, so we're like, oh,
all good.
Finally, take a seat.
Thank you.
I've been trying to get her on the show for so long, back when it was undiscovered, and finally, I think it's better now that you
finally
are on this. Like, exactly,
and
exactly,
and
it is hot
in
here.
All
it's
of that.
the flames.
So, thank you so much for
of
having me today.
Of course. So first and foremost, like, it's so interesting because when I was reading your bio, you know, I know Kimiko through doing acting work and stuff like that, but I didn't know that you had so much experience in, like, marketing and PR and doing all of those things. So when was the turning point for you when you were doing that you're like, you know what, let's do a full 180?
Right, exactly. So I'm actually born and raised in Las Vegas. So growing up, you know, I always knew I wanted to go into corporate life. And so one of my favorite shows growing up was Who's the Boss? And I wanted to be like Angela. So Angela owned her own advertising agency, and I'm like, I want to be like Angela. So I went to Arizona State University. I was a cheerleader there. I graduated there. And during the time that I was there, I was a cheerleader. I happened to be in a commercial as a cheerleader for Tostitos. And I got my first taste of commercial life doing a commercial, and I thought, wow! And it was a sad commercial. You know, we did many hours, and we got golden time, and it was amazing. I was like, this is what it's like. This is amazing. But you know, I had my, you know, my path was set. I was going to be in marketing. So I get out of school. I come back to Vegas, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, what am I going to do? I don't want to work in a casino. I want to start in an ad agency. Well, my first job was in a casino, in the marketing department, of course. But soon I went to an ad agency and kind of started my career there. So really starting from the account services department and doing the ads on the other side of the camera, I'm like, what would it be like to be on in front of the camera? So I'm doing the ad campaigns and helping strategize all the brands and the marketing for all these wonderful brands, and you know, never really thought about it. Thought it would be cool, but you know, never really thought that it was something that I could do. You know, being from Las Vegas. So fast forward, and you know, I've been an executive director of marketing for years. You know, for over 12 years at a resort, a casino resort. Which is funny because I didn't want to be in marketing in a casino, but you know, living in Las Vegas, there's great opportunities. And I'm really glad that I had that opportunity and that experience because I got to work with a lot of filming production companies that came in. And so I would help them from the PR side of it. And I worked with the Nevada Film Commission and a lot of the production crews that came in and helped them to produce movies inside of the casino. So I got a taste of like the production and the filming and the behind the scenes and like helping it market, you know, my brand too. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. Because it's not completely, it is a 180, but it's not. Because like, you go from a corporate world to more of like an independent, artistic world. But nowadays, like with your marketing and your PR, like you know the ins and outs and behind the scenes, what people look for, how to market yourself, what really can get people to look at you, right? Because Vegas, obviously, if you guys haven't noticed, is huge on marketing. Like the minute you're on the strip, you see things everywhere about who's coming in town, who has a residency, what food, what new restaurant, all of those things. Obviously, there needs people for that. And it's always so fast-paced. And Vegas isn't a city that would be known for fast-paced, but what comes in can come out really, really, really fast. And so to make yourself stay and be a household name is like, how do you do that? Except with marketing, obviously. And you
having that background, So having the background and the knowledge of what brands really want from commercials, you know, commercials for all of the hotels and casinos in Las Vegas, or for a small business, or for medium-sized businesses. Knowing what the brand wants out of the talent. You know, I was the one who was hiring the talent at the time, and now I'm the talent that's being hired to deliver and to help these brands grow and show their campaigns. So knowing kind of what the other side, what the marketing department wants from talent, I feel like I have that knowledge of the front of the camera and the behind the camera, where I can give my best and know what it is the brand is looking for. So I do a lot of commercials. I've done a lot of national commercials and international commercials.
Yeah, because I think what helps is that, especially if you're not someone who's done this from the get-go, you know, we all go through different training.
Right.
You have training in something different, so you can use that to your leverage. And if you're very confident with who you are, you know, hey, I'm this very commercial, I'm very smart. Obviously, cheerleader doesn't surprise me.
No.
That you are a cheerleader, an actual cheerleader, because she's always just the smile, like she is commercial in a person.
Absolutely.
So, like, with that knowledge, you can try to navigate the industry differently. You know, you're not like this one that was like, oh no, I will die for my art. You're like, no, this is business. You're a very corporate mindset when you
very much. I mean, when you are an actor, a voice actor, you are your own business. You are an entrepreneur. You are starting, and every day is a hustle, and you're working to develop your brand, right? And to help and to get noticed and to get, you know, booked. So for me, I feel like it's not starting from the beginning, it's starting from experience.
Yeah.
Different kind of experience, but still having that experience from my marketing to be able to help myself market myself and to be talent in front of the camera now. Which is interesting because I always thought I was going to be on the trajectory of climbing the corporate ladder and moving up and, you know, becoming vice president and, you know, all these things. And, you know, COVID happened, and it gave me a great chance to be able to reinvent myself, to start new, to be an entrepreneur, and to do what I really love. This is my passion, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with the choice of choosing myself instead of, well, maybe I should just get another job in corporate America.
So
that
how
would have been
long,
the easy thing to do.
How long has it been since you made that switch and you've been doing the commercials and the stuff like that?
Since 2020
so
was
it's very recent.
Very recent, right?
Okay.
Is when I said I'm going to go full time, and this is going to be what I'm going to be doing now.
Yeah, and that's kind of around the time that we met, and you never put off the vibe that, you know, you're a beginner. That's another thing that I want to pinpoint is what has your experience like? Because her and I kind of bond through our experiences on sets and our views, and Vegas is a small town, so we feel these energies, we see these energies, and you can tell kind of the people who have not had a lot of experience, but may have been doing it longer, and then you just know how to hold yourself. So what has it been like for you? What are things that you see that you can kind of give people a little insight on what it's actually like doing the job?
You know, it's a lot of what kind of creating, you know, I've manifested a lot in this career. You know, I wrote an article in 2018.
And I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah, I wrote this article in Vegas Inc. And it was really about bringing the film industry and having tax credits and an incentive in Nevada to be able to bring huge motion pictures here, big feature films here, large commercial, national commercials here. We do have a wonderful Nevada Film Commission where there is tax credits here up to, I believe it's $10 million for a big production. However, you know, I also work in Arizona. I have an agent in Arizona. And right now, Arizona just got a tax incentive credit for $75 million, up to $125 million for productions by 2025. So where we're seeing a lot of feature films and a lot of big productions going to Georgia and New Mexico. Now they're going to be going to Arizona. Why can't we bring that here?
Right.
You know, Mark Wahlberg just, you know, moved here, and he's talking about Hollywood 2.0. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about in the article in 2018, where, you know, we need to start to bring diversification, bringing film and talent here in Las Vegas. We have a lot of great local talent here thriving in this community, but we're having to go to LA and to Phoenix and to Atlanta to work, where if we're here, this is our city that we love. We have so much thriving talent, from talent and cast, crew. There's so much work, you know, and even from production rentals, and, you know, there's so much that can be done. And I think that I've worked with the students at UNLV Film School, and they're amazing, and they're having to go out of Nevada too, because the work is outside of Nevada. So if we can start to bring that here locally, we're going to help increase, you know, the diversification of what we have here. I mean, between all of the sports and medical tourism and tech that's moving here.
I know.
Let's bring film.
Exactly. It's so interesting because they're coming, but because there's so much happening here, I'm wondering if it's because there's so much that it becomes so difficult. Because I know that one thing that we had here was the Grammys back in 2022, but they never want it back here again because there's so much going on that it caused so much traffic, and Vegas isn't big enough where you can spread everything out. Everything has to happen on the Strip or happens downtown. And so it's disappointing because I'm just like, you would think it's amazing because this is a city that people love to visit. It's a city that they can profit from and benefit from. It's not as expensive as other cities, but they're like, oh my God, it's too much. It's too much. So, but it's a good thing at the same time. I think, you know, people have to give Vegas a chance, and they're not, right? And we talked about this, and when we're talking about great talent sitting here, is that there is, but like because it's so small, there are always the few things that ruin it that might scar so many people to not come back. Like they'll come here for like a couple scenes, spend 2-3 days, use us for background, ship people out to be principal roles from LA or wherever, and then we're kind of left just kind of taking everything we can get, which is fine, but I don't think we've been given that opportunity yet. Like what you're saying, like the one where they're like, no, we want to cast, let's go to Vegas first, cast principals from Vegas, and then search elsewhere to bring them here, right?
And that's where the tax credit incentives will come into play, because having those tax incentives, the production companies need to use local talent, local hotels. They need to eat here, they need to rent the equipment here, they need to hire the team here. So that's going to help them, that's going to help the community, that's going to help tourism, that's going to help a lot of things. And you were talking about how, you know, sometimes there's, they come in and they leave right away. Well, there's so many places to film, locations around Nevada. Did you know that Hoover Dam is the most filmed location? You would think the Strip, you would think the Las Vegas sign, you know, the famous Las Vegas sign, but Hoover Dam is the most popular place to film.
Yeah, everything's accessible here. That's why I love living here. Is that like you don't have to go far, an hour. You can go to the mountains, depending on what type of mountains. You know, we got Mount Charleston, we have Valley of Fire. Two completely different look. You got a city vibe. You have more of like the downtown, dirtier vibe, but then you have desert, right? Yeah. And so it's so interesting. I don't get why. I think they're starting to. But like when we tell people, oh, we love being in Vegas, like why? And I'm just like. Fine, then don't come here. We'll take the job. Yeah, please don't come here. But I'm really hoping that the little that we're having, it's kind of building. So I think since I've moved here, it's been gradually. Like 5 years ago. Like I wasn't here 5 years ago, but I don't think all the things that are here now regarding film, modeling, television, commercial, all of those things, I don't think were here, even fashion. And then I arrived and I said, we're going to change it. And then you were like, I'm not going to go into it. And then we like connected on the set. Like, what is going on? There's no smooth sailing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that we're in a perfect position right now because we have so much experience. You know, we're not at the top of our game. We're still growing. We're still learning. But we have all of that experience behind us now to be able to be in the right place at the right time when all of those huge productions come and, you know, they're going to select talent. Well, there's even more agencies now that are coming to Vegas, which I think is interesting. Don't you see? There's so many more, you know, talent agencies that are coming to Vegas. But I think, you know, who's here right now, there's a lot of great talent.
Because you'll know, because then they'll quit soon, or they just have already built a reputation that's not as credible. But it's so interesting because Vegas is so different. If you guys plan on moving here, which you should, just know that it doesn't operate the same way as the normal industry would. So these agencies, and I know I want to touch on that with you because I know that you have, you know, you're kind of in charge of one, but we'll talk about that. But when they come here, they treat it like a big city, very cutthroat. New York, LA, this is what's going on in Milan, Paris. And it's fine. We get it, but it doesn't work here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I hate to call it that, but we're kind of like the island of misfit toys. Like, you're going to find so much stuff here. You're not going to find what you're looking for, but you're going to find things that are better. And if you're not open to it, then you can get out. But when they come here, it's funny because I'll have meetings with them, already knowing what it's going to be like, but it's interesting because it's laughable. And I told Kimiko about it. Like exclusive agencies and people that look for a certain thing, thinking that they will trump the city of Las Vegas, that they have done in bigger ones, it's not going to happen. And so, you know, I think we're both sitting here and we're telling you guys, like, now that's why I think we love it, because we're both not ideal for anything. Because another one to pinpoint is being Asian. We're not, and so people don't know where to put us in big cities, and if they really want an Asian, they can find one off the street that kind of fits more of their mold. We don't have that much here, so you have to kind of make your name really quickly. And so for you, you are kind of like a talent inquisitor, right, of an agency?
You know, I've helped out with different agencies, and, you know, it's for Vegas to be exclusive in Vegas with one agency, I think, you know, you're dead in the water. You know, with us, I think it's better to have multiple agencies and multiple talent representations in Las Vegas, because it is it's small. It's not an LA. It's not a Phoenix. So there is that opportunity to be able to get work from a lot of different agencies. I think, you know, if you are in LA or Phoenix or, you know, New Mexico, you would have one agent and a manager. That makes perfect sense. Here, you know, I think a lot of agencies come to Las Vegas and they're like, okay, we're going to have you and you're going to be exclusive. It's not going to work. That's going to be really tough, because the talent here, there's just not enough to sustain that right now. Yeah,
and they just want to claim what they can, because they know there's good people here, but they want to take that for themselves, and they think that because Vegas, they don't think we have experience. They think we're naive enough to think that that's the route to go, because they're trying to sell a dream. Right. And so when you're on the other end of in an agency, what do you notice the most about what those above you would kind of look for, that you kind of want to change the game?
I think a lot of it, you know, and you've seen a lot of headshots too. So a lot is in the headshots that you're providing. It's, do you believe in yourself? Can you see, you know, the happiness, and can you see the story that someone is giving in their eyes and in their body and how they move? And, you know, if you talk to them in person or on Zoom, what are they bringing to you? You know, it's that first initial meeting or seeing a photo. What is it about them? They have to give off some sort of a positive energy, right? I mean, we talk about positive energy all the time. I think you can see that in someone. You know, when you come into a room and if you are closed off, people are going to notice that. I think for anyone, showing that you are open and you're flexible and, you know, you're not closed off to opportunities, I think that is what is going to make or break, you know, you getting cast and being in a film or, you know, a commercial or an agency. So I think it's sort of the vibe that you give off. You know, I think it's definitely, and, you know, of course there's multiple roles, and if the role is like headhunter, you know, hardcore boss babe, that's okay. But that's not, you know, that's not how you should represent yourself all the time, because that's not who you are all the time. So,
exactly. But then it's so bad, because like, there can be all those amazing things, but there's also the aspect of, okay, like on paper, like it looks great, they go through all the pictures, and I don't know if this happened to you, but then they're just like, okay, now let's look at her body type. How tall is she? You know, like how old is she? You know, like what's her dimensions? What's her size? And then that becomes a determining factor, even down to your skin tone, your eye shape. Because I think I want to ask you, like being Asian, people don't see us as needed in abundance. They need one token, and that's all they have. But when there's a lot of them, they would rather have a lot of a certain ethnicity, and then they just take a couple, but then they have to meet all the criteria, because then there's no use. What has it been like for you? Because you're Japanese, correct?
Yeah, I'm half Japanese, half Caucasian. And I, you know, honestly, right now, today's March 1st, and it's International Women's History Month. And right now, we are seeing in our time that Michelle Yeoh is having this moment. And right now, there is a lot of representation for Asian women right now in this industry, and I'm here for it. Like, it is so, you know, for me, it's kind of interesting, because I'm half and half. So sometimes if they're looking for ethnically ambiguous, okay, well, maybe I fit that. You know, I'm not a fashion or runway model. I'm commercial, I'm print, so my height usually doesn't hinder me too much. Being 5'3", you know, I'm petite, so, you know, I'm not super tall. it was funny. I was just in a commercial the other day, and they put me, which it was so funny because he was 6'3" and I was 5'3", and I'm like, did they not see how tall he was when they put him with me? But it worked out because we were sitting. So I just think it's kind of funny. I think for me, it being half and half, sometimes I can try to fit into that. I don't always fit into an Asian. If they're looking for an Asian, I don't always fit that. If they're looking for a Caucasian, I don't fit that either. So sometimes I'm kind of in an odd space too, where I just don't fit in. But, I give it my all, and I go for most things. And sometimes it's not until they see you or meet you, and then they're like, well,
there's something.
We didn't
know.
We
need to stop,
actually,
closing our brains.
We do want her,
exactly.
So she's actually going to fit. We didn't think that we wanted her, but she's going to fit perfectly for our brand or for our movie, for our TV show.
Yeah, and I think what you're pinpointing is basically Asians have this tenacity and this hard work ethic that we need. Whenever we're given an opportunity, we're going to show you that we are worthy of that opportunity. So we thank people like Michelle Yeoh. She had an opportunity and she took that and she kept going, and now she's here as the first one. She's
it's so great to see, and the Oscars are coming up. And she is. I mean, I'm rooting for her. Obviously, and I think she's gonna win that Oscar.
I know.
What a moment
really hope
that's
so.
gonna be, for all of us.
Exactly, because I always tell people in film, Asians very rarely are even given a role that would be nominated.
That's right.
Only certain films, certain genres would be even eligible to be nominated to win an Academy Award. So to get a role that could, and then being able to be like, haha. Like everyone, arguing about race all the time, and now it's a time for Asians, and I think that's always kind of what I wanted to break through, is showing that Asians can do it just as well, if not harder.
Absolutely.
But yes. So before we go, please tell the audience what you're working on now and how they can get in contact with you via getting you to submit for a job, like what agencies, like things like that, so people can keep an eye out.
So right now, I am kind of all over the place. I'm working on voice acting, and I'm on voices.com, and I'm obviously on casting networks and Actors Access, and you can find me at LV Sun Devil on Instagram, and you can see all of the great things that I'm up to there.
Yeah.
And hopefully working with you soon.
Oh, of course. Again. We already did. We just did Mark Wahlberg together. She took my paparazzi photo, which I will be releasing eventually when this movie comes out to me and Marky Mark. But anyway, not to name names, don't sue us. Thank you. So, but I want to ask this question. I kind of asked if I get around to it. Like, what is the biggest misconception people might have of you when they meet you in life in general? And it's a big thing to think about. It's a big question.
It is. And, it's been kind of interesting to go from, like we were talking about, from marketing, and now I'm an actress and doing a lot of other things as well. But to introduce myself as, what do you do? Well, I'm an actress.
Yeah.
That's a big step for me to say that and to put it out there. And I think that's the one thing, is the misconception of like, what have I seen you in?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, boy. That's not, all the acting is. So there's a lot of, learning. It's a learning
that type of thing.
But what I want to say is that starting in my 40s in this industry, Michelle Yeoh is now, winning awards in her 60s. So there's no timeline. Oh, yeah. And just always do your best. And if you want to change and you want to do something different, you can.
Of course. Go for it. Just go for it. But you got to go for it all the way, though.
Go for it. And don't stop.
Exactly.
And don't quit.
Exactly. Well, everyone, Kimiko Peterson, thank you so much for being on the show. I hope that we have you back in the future so you can update all of us on what it is that you are working on, and kind of if new things develop with film, love to have you here to talk about how you're manifesting it for all of us. But everyone, Kimiko Peterson, please, please, please reach out to her on social media. Check out what she's doing. I'm sure you'll be able to see all of her commercials and her movies that are out now, and then all of those that are coming. So everyone, a round of applause for Kimiko. And then when we come back, obviously, I'm going to say my amazing goodbyes and some news, See you after the break.
This show is brought to you by... This show is also brought to you by Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa, located on Silverado Ranch, here in Henderson, Nevada. Restore, relax, and refresh. Turn your power on with Broken Ball Productions, owned by Russell Rapp, an independent filmmaker based out of New Jersey.
Social Media Shows is a production company based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We offer these services. We've been streaming shows live in real time for over 4 years on major social media platforms and also on our website socialmediashows.com. And we are now on Roku TV. We welcome you to have your own show on our TV network. Call us 651-955-8743 or email us at admin@socialmediashows.com.
Hi guys, that was it today for today's show for the Hot Seat with Priscilla. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe. I sound like a YouTuber, but whatever. We all know the drill. Comment, refer us to other people. We are up for being hired for red carpets, movie premieres, film festivals, all of the above. Everyone, please always make sure that you know to jot down the email address, admin@socialmediashows.com, if you have any questions, comments, concerns. I did say this in the beginning of the show, and I do want to pinpoint it, that for some reason, all of the people that are watching obviously love me, and they love Maria, and they love the team, obviously, because we are the hot seat. However, for some reason, people like to slide into my DMs and say otherwise, and it is not appreciated. I know everyone thinks that I am in charge of everything here: lighting, sound, production, editing, when things come out, when things don't come out, when things are scheduled, who is scheduled. I don't control those things. And even though if I did, please be kind. That is going to be the theme of today's episode. We did talk about that with Ashley. It goes a long way, and just because I am someone that's more in the public eye does not mean I am able to have access from all of the people around telling me how this show is ruining my reputation. Yes, that's what people have said to me, that my videos don't deserve a like, blah, 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 I wouldn't get hired, that it's so bad, can I give you feedback, why does it look like this, why does it look like CRAP? Listen to me, I don't care. Let me be honest with you. But if you still have that same ballsy energy, keep that energy that you have when you like to talk to me and take it up with the production team here. And I highly doubt you will. But I'm going to open that hand to you if you would like to do that. Please go do that and take it up with them and see how they respond to you. If you like this, thank you so much. If you are a supporter, I know who the real supporters are, and I know who obviously believes in me and wants to support a great business that I'm also supporting. So I see you, I appreciate you, and this is your shout out. So please, please, please keep rooting for us, keep sharing videos, and if you want to sponsor, we are open for that as well. Now, if you do want to sit here in the hot seat, please email your bio to admin@socialmediashows.com. That email is going to be golden, so make sure it's engraved in your brain, and then we will go with the production team. Again, don't come at me. We'll decide whether or not you're going to sit here in the hot seat. Now, even though people think it's so low budget and low quality, this is a very, very, very important seat because you get to sit with me. So not all the people get to sit there. I do have some little say, but other than that, please stop being hateful on social media. Please stop cyberbullying. Please stop coming to me in person, in public, telling me how shitty of a job I'm doing, because I know I'm not. So if you're watching, whether you like it or not, you're still watching, giving us views, please continue to see me every week on the Hot Seat live Wednesday at 3 p.m. And watch, hey, like, you're still watching, but we all know that you're keeping tabs. So I am your host, Priscilla Moy, and this is the Hot Seat, and I will see you next week, and keep your comments to yourself. Bye.